welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen here with life coach Linda Armstrong. Today is Friday, January the 25th, 2019. It's 4 p.m. in New York, 1 p.m. Los Angeles time. In London, it's 9 p.m. and Sydney, Australia is at 8 a.m. But wherever you are in the world, thank you for tuning in for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And we are kind of excited here because we're going to be doing another guided meditation that kind of takes off and plays off of one that we did a couple weeks ago. Linda, actually, and this is actually your idea to do this follow-up, but you took us on something that I had never even considered before, and that is meditating and reaching out to future selves. And now we're going to take that the next step of going to the future self and bringing that back to our adolescent self and doing some healing. Like, I had no idea you could do this many connections. That's pretty cool.
Sure. It's unlimited, right? We live in an unlimited universe. Lots of things.
Yeah, apparently. I'm just still learning the parameters of it, but that's really, really cool stuff. So, yeah, that's good. And actually, before we get going, well, people are starting to come into the live stream, which is great. So we'll give people more chance to do that. But I actually received a private message today from a listener who was asking for some help. And I told this listener we would try to give some help on the podcast. I also sent him a private message too. But it's a good question, and it ties into a very similar kind of thing that a lot of people go through in their work life. Many people have experienced this kind of thing in one form or another, so I think it makes it a good topic. But Linda, let me read you what he had to say, and then you can wade in with what you think, and I'll wade in with what I think, and that'll give people time to show up
Very
for
curious.
the meditation. Yeah. He says, I lost my job in October, and now I'm getting an offer from another company. I realize now that I was very well paid at my previous company. The new company offered me a low package, but after a discussion this morning, it seems they're willing to negotiate. Now, my situation is, why do I feel they will not be able to give me a better offer than my previous company? It's a big company, and they're paying big bucks to other employees. The job they are offering is high profile and deserves compensation, but I can't get myself to be bold and say, this is what I deserve. Maybe I'm scared. I'm trying to let go of my limiting thoughts and tell myself that I deserve that big package because I'm capable, and I do meditate every day. But he asked, what exercise can I do to tell myself that I can get that high profile job with a better package than what I had in my previous job? I have to negotiate with them in the next few days, and I totally need to believe in myself. So he would appreciate our help in the matter. So what do you think? What do you have to tell him?
Okay, well, the first thing that popped into my head is this book called The Big Leap. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. You can get it on audio, and you can listen to it before your before you have to get back to them. And that book talks about how we tend to set these limits for ourselves. And if something gets us to where we're about to go into it, break that limit and go above it, then we will sabotage ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there could be something in this book that might actually click for you to help you to know that you are worthy and deserving of all that you ask for, because really that's what's getting in the way.
Yeah.
It's just whatever's running within you that might make you feel that you're not worthy of that. And that's just a program. It's just some little story that was made up when you were maybe 3 and had an experience, right? That's how this stuff works. It's all in the subconscious mind. But we don't have to be run by those things. We can clear them. So that book popped up. Somebody did it. It was part of a book review I did like a week ago. This week so far, the books that were in that book review keep popping up in my reality.
Nice.
So your question had that book come to mind, so maybe there's something there for you that would help you through this. So that's just a suggestion, because that happens. We tend to set these. It's almost like for whatever reason, there's this threshold that when we start bumping up against it or going to break through it, some fear comes in and then it'll sabotage you. So if you meditate, I would say keep connecting to yourself through meditation. We're going to meditate today, right?
Right.
So you want to just keep bringing yourself back into that peaceful place within, because then you can hear your guidance, because we're always being guided. But when we let that mind take over and start making up all these stories, which is probably a little bit of what's happening for you right now, because you have these stories about how maybe I can't ask for that, or whatever the story might be.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yep.
do you think, Walt? Do you have anything to add to that?
Agree. I actually, having read it through the second time when I was reading it to you, I realized I misread it the first time. So I'm
Oh,
going to have to modify the comment that I sent to him privately. But I agree with your comment. He talked about how he was a little bit scared and like he wasn't 100% confident. I mean, he talked about how he was confident that he deserved the better money, but it sounded from his tone that he really wasn't confident, which feeds into directly what you were talking about, how, we can get these stories going in our heads and they create that limit and we bump up against them and,
right.
well, no, I'm really not all that worthy. And
It,
ultimately, my comment to him was, well, you can't build all that at once. That's what you do over time with processes. But what I suggested was, I love your suggestion. I suggested, why not just take your mind off of it for a bit? Go off and do stuff that you like. Talk with friends that are good friends, play with pets, do nature walks, do whatever it takes to get yourself into a better frame of mind, and then come back to the problem after you're in a good frame of mind, in a much better place than you are right now, and ask yourself, what do you feel like you should do at that point? And kind of go with what the gut is telling you at that point feels the best to you.
I like the way you said gut and feels, because those are the connection to the true source of what's right for you. But then there's other things too that just popped in my head while you're speaking, and that is sometimes people are running on a program that
Mm.
prevents them and forbids them from doing better than their parents. So like there
Ooh.
could be, so that's like so if your parents did only so well in their life, or who knows, a best friend, your
Mhm.
spouse or something, where that's setting a limit for yourself. And so like here I could break through that, but there's some programming within my subconscious mind that says no, you're not allowed to do that. Remember, you made a vow or you had an oath or you decided that it wouldn't be okay because someone will feel less than if you achieve these higher heights. So that's the kind of stuff that I work with people to clear out when these things are coming up for them.
That's a really great point. I mean, we usually think about these tapes, these stories that run around in our heads as if they're just our stories. But you're right, so many of them we can inherit from the people who raised us or the people who were authority figures or were adult figures in our life as we were growing up. And if
Right.
part of their limiting beliefs were that you really shouldn't rise above them, that they're always going to be they always have to be in a higher position than you, that's going to hold you back until you turn that tape around. That's a really good point.
So here's another question you can ask yourself. When you start hearing this coming into your mind, like, I don't know, maybe I can't really ask for more or whatever the question is, then
Yep.
you want to stop for a second and say, okay, well, whose voice is that?
Mm.
Whose voice is that? Oh, my third grade teacher popped into my head because I asked for an extra apple that day. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what it is. Like there's programming,
Mm.
experience, and the ego mind feeds off of that, right? So it's like, no, no, no. Remember, you can't go there. You can't
Right.
ask for more. You don't deserve it because you asked for that apple and the teacher said there wasn't enough for everybody and there's starving people in Ethiopia. I mean, whatever it is, the programming comes in where you're not allowed to ask for more. And
Yeah.
you can dig for that. You don't even have to know it. You can just make a new decision. Like, listen, okay, I could have some crap in my way, but you know what? Right here, right now, present time, I'm choosing to rise above that. Scary as that might seem, and just go and do it, you know?
Well, as you're saying that, it also occurs to me, we run into these resistance points periodically, and they tend to pop up when they're least convenient. Tend to pop up when we're in the middle of going after whatever it is that normally blocks. So maybe this is an opportunity to see, well, okay, I've got this resistance point, it's popped up there. I wonder what I can do to just put that one aside and jump over it and move around it or do whatever I need to do to get past it. Maybe this is like your inner being saying, time for you to face this and get past it.
Yeah, not maybe. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about expansion and growth, right? I mean,
Hmm.
we come here with the plan, We put obstacles in our way, and because we want to be able to grow past them. So you're right now at one of those points, and it's like, all right, am I busting through this, or I'm going to let it control me and keep me small?
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
yeah.
So it's actually a positive, depending on how we decide to look at it. It's actually a good situation.
You know what? I decide to look at all of my negatives as positives.
Mm. Not always easy to do, but it's a good policy.
Yeah. No, I'm totally owning it now. And in fact, I have a little post-it note. I'm clearing my desktop, and in this post-it note says, "What if everything is exactly as it ought to be?" Because
Mm.
if you think about it, if you say "what if," it takes the pressure off, right? Well, what if
Right.
this problem or this, like I have something that's been getting put off and going on like a year now, and I'm like, all right, so what's the purpose of this? I know it's serving some purpose, or this would be solved already, right? So what if this is exactly how it ought to be? What would the benefits of that be? And then you actually come up with a few. And then another thing I have is what's meant for me can never be lost. That's a good one, especially right here, because if it's meant for you to have that position, that job, can't be lost. So have it be the way you want it to be. And if they
That's
say no, all right, then move on to the one that is exactly right for you.
so basically assuming that no matter how it works out, it's working out the way that's going to be best for you.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you own that more and you soften the energy, the roadblocks start to disappear because
Hmm.
now you're of this mindset that, all right, well, this is supposed to be this way. Okay, so how do I move along with that? Instead of
Hmm.
fighting it, it's like, okay, I'll join in with that energy and see where it takes me. I
Right.
know. I mean, it sounds crazy. Some people are going to say that girl's really off her rocker, but it's a non-resistant way. And so
Mm.
when we stop like button heads with the resistance, then it's like a bully, right? You stand up to a bully, they're going to run the other way.
This is true.
And bullies are looking for victims, right? When you put the energy out, I'm like, I know I'll never be attacked because I know how to defend myself
Hmm.
after so many years of karate that it doesn't even
Yeah,
cross my mind.
sure.
Someone looks at me the wrong way, I look them dead in the eye. I'm like, really? Okay, let's go. Come on, I'm ready. Right? It doesn't happen.
Mm.
It's energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the essence of a bully too. It's
Oh yeah.
interesting. It's interesting to use that metaphor too, the metaphor of the bully, because we don't often think about it this way. But when we walk into an employment interview, we can feel intimidation, and there are some interviewers, not all. Most interviewers are actually very decent, and very good, but there can be some who will know that they have the advantage and take advantage of it and try to bully you in some way toward whatever end is most desirable for them.
And so, what if that was exactly perfect? So you actually have that moment in time to step into your power and say, I'm not going to be your lackey. I'm not being bullied. This is me. This is what I can do for you, and
Hmm.
I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Instead
It,
of
it,
instead of like shrinking, because
mhm.
that's what would feed that person. If that was their intention, if that's how they are, if they see you shrink, well, that makes them feel bigger, right? But if
Mm.
you're like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not shrinking because this is who I am,
Hmm.
then maybe they'll meet you at that level, right? If you have to deal with that person. Or you just say, sorry, this isn't for me, and you leave. Why not? When we do things out of this desperate energy, because that's that ego mind, that fearful mind, you're going to be living on a street mind, right? It
Hmm.
makes us react without checking in with what's right for us, right? It
Hmm.
makes us become small instead of the bigness that we actually truly are.
Hmm.
We're love. We're high vibration energy living in a body, and we have that other stuff that can make us not see that about ourselves. So that's the whole thing. The whole thing is just breaking out and expanding into that bigger energy that you are, the truth, who you are.
I'm thinking about a story that Louise has told me that I think is kind of appropriate because you can also get there by being oblivious, really. She told me one time about how she was interviewed by, I can't remember what the situation was. Was it a job interview or was she being reviewed by a boss or what it was? But it was something where she was in the chair and there was somebody who was, making a decision about her. And the person who was interviewing her had a large knife in his hand, and he was using it to pick his fingernails.
Uh,
At the time, she didn't pay any attention to it at all. But afterwards, she realized he was trying to intimidate her, and it just went right over her head. She just didn't even know it was there. And so she acted like it wasn't there, and he couldn't pull off what he wanted to pull off simply because she paid no mind to it at all.
and why did she pay no mind to it? Because she was in that high vibration.
She was, yeah, she had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you stand in your truth
Hmm.
and you hold that energy, that stuff cannot penetrate.
Right.
So you know what that made me think of too? I remember I went, I was like a witness in a trial for somebody, standing up for this person, and this prosecutor was trying to intimidate me,
Oh.
right? And and he's, I guess he's known for being able to let people talk in circles. But you know what? It didn't happen. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I was there. I was totally present. I was listening to his questions, and he was like trying to tongue tie me and turn me around, and I just kept going back to. And then I finally like, you're asking the wrong person, because like that's not even in my wheelhouse to answer that question. Like I was just the guy didn't know what to do with me, so uh, he dismissed me, right? And when I got off and I came out to go sit down where all the people were, there were a couple of attorneys that go up against him in the back row, and they were like giving me thumbs up, like, yeah. And all I did was just be like, I know who that guy is, and I'm standing up for him. And so you
Hmm.
can say whatever you want, but you're not going to trick me into trying to say something I don't believe, you know? Yeah.
Right.
So,
Pretty cool. All right.
yeah, that was fun.
Seeing what comments we have here. Um, Jeffrey's saying people experiencing the lack of money as a problem can use that as motivation to go after their dreams and get things done today. What do you think of that?
Say that again.
People experiencing the lack of money as a problem can use that as motivation to go after their dreams and get things done today.
I would say I'd rather get things done through a high energy, high vibration than that low vibration.
Hmm.
Because the higher vibration is going to take you to the things that last. Maybe going out and getting this job that you don't even want to do and that you hate, and you're going to have to find a new one in 3 weeks, doesn't really serve you. I don't know. I would want to, if I had the high vibration that was motivating me, like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to be a dance teacher for whatever, whatever it is. Like if you can do it from this higher vibration, letting go of that ego, it just depends where you're coming from. But a
Hmm.
lot of times people are pushing themselves from that place of fear. Take anything.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you don't want that.
that's true. That's very
I
true.
would say you don't want that, but we all have, we have free will. We each can choose to live the hard way or the not so hard way, or we're going to do something today with 5 different futures you can choose: the awful future, mediocre, the good, the better, or the awesome. Maybe this is a good segue into that.
Do I get to pick in advance? No, I'm sorry.
No, well, I'm taking you through the process. Everybody else is
Oh,
going to do it.
oh,
They're going
okay.
to do it on their own, but you're going to go through it.
Okay, okay. So I'm the guinea pig today.
You're
Okay.
the guinea pig. You're going to lead the way.
Okay. Well, I
Um,
can handle that.
I usually do that in groups, and there's always one person that will kind of go through it with me, and the
Hmm.
rest do their own. They do it at the same time.
Okay.
Um, so maybe we'll do that, because that's just something I want to do before that meditation. It's already 4:22. So as long as there aren't any other questions about everything we already talked about.
Yeah, I think we're good for now. So let's go ahead and move into it.
Okay. So I'm going to have you close your eyes while you do this, and you're
Okay.
not
So
going to be looking at all the screens.
you guys, you can comment all you want. I just won't be seeing it.
Everybody will. They're going to be doing it with me. So, and the
Okay, good.
people coming in late, they're going to have to figure it out.
All right. Okay.
All right. So you're going to close your eyes. Okay. And I want you just to imagine that out in front of you are 5 doorways, 5 doors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors. The door all the way to the left, the first door, is a doorway to an awful future. So I want you to stand in front of that doorway, that door, and first describe to me, what does a door look like to an awful future?
Dirty. It
Okay.
looks scummy. I mean, it looks like it's an old door and it's just got mold on it. It's just
All right.
awful.
So if you don't mind touching the handle and stepping in, I'd like you to step into that, through that doorway into the awful future.
Can I put gloves on first? No, I'm
Good.
kidding.
Put gloves on, walk into that awful future.
Okay.
Tell me what it looks like in there.
It's um it's empty.
Okay.
I mean, literally, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now I want you to walk out from that door, and everybody else, whatever door you stepped into, whatever you saw, everyone's going to walk back out in front of that door, shut that door, and shake yourself off. I mean, literally shake the energy off, right? Shake it off.
Okay.
Okay. We're not holding that energy. We've visited it. We're leaving it. Now you're going to move over to the next door. Okay. This is the door to the mediocre life. So what does that door look like? How does it present?
It's kind of it's an old door. I mean, it's been around the block a few times. You know how a new door has everything is nice and clean and crisp. This has
Okay.
got dents and it's the paint is peeling a bit and that sort of
Okay.
thing.
Any color or just like what?
The the rather drab beige.
Okay. So now I want you to open that door, walk into that mediocre life, and look around and tell me what it looks like in there.
It looks like a large portion of my past, to be honest.
Okay. Any words other than that that you can describe it?
Just that I don't want to go back to it.
Can you tell us what it feels like? There was an emotion or general.
Um, there's an emotion to it.
All right, that's okay. I don't want you to be there too long.
It's kind of like a down motion. It's not terrible. It's not excited in any way. It's it's high end negative. It's not really
Okay.
deeply negative. It's just negative.
All right, so come back out from there, shut that door, shake yourself off. Really shake yourself off.
Okay.
The dog shaking the water off its body. Okay.
Okay.
Now we move over to the next door. This is a door to a good future. What does that door look like?
You're pushing me because you know how I always struggle with the visioning, but
What does it feel like? It don't have to have a vision. What is it? How, if you knew, what would it look like?
it's like I think it's light blue.
Okay.
It's light blue, and it's just light blue. I don't have anything else.
All right. So open that light blue door to the good future, walk in and see what it looks like in there. What's a good future look like?
That's kind of sunny.
Okay. Blue door, sunny inside. All right.
Yeah, and it's just it's nice. It's pleasant. It,
Okay.
it's uh it's just a pleasant atmosphere. And it's outdoors. Um, Summer like.
Okay. All right, good. So come back through that doorway and again shake it off. Even though it's a good future, we're going to shake it off. Okay. We're going to move over one door. Now we're going to the door to the better future.
Okay.
What does that door look like?
It's metal.
Okay.
It's like a. It's not quite burnished aluminum. It's a little bit duller than that.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I can't
That's
tell you
okay.
more
That's
specifically.
okay. Other people might see like, more elaborate images, but that's fine. What anybody
Mhm.
sees is exactly right for them. So now
Okay.
walk into that better future.
Okay.
Open that door, walk in there, and then feel what is it like in the better future.
There's a higher energy.
Okay.
I mean, I can feel the vibration of it. It's like it's almost electric. It's hmm.
Can you imagine your environment? Can you see anything happening, or just it's just this electric energy? Is that it?
That's all I'm really getting is that electric energy. Like there's,
Okay.
I don't see an event happening or a scene. It's just I feel this electric
Okay.
energy.
All right. And then I want you to step out from that door, even though it's a better future. We're going to step out and you're going to shake that one off too.
Okay.
Okay. Now you move over to that doorway number 5, the fifth door. Walk in. Well, what does it look like? What does that fifth door look like?
White.
White.
It's
Okay.
a white door, and it's a new door. I mean, like right out of the warehouse. Just put
Uh-huh.
the casement into the wall. It's that new.
Okay. Any
Absolutely.
distinct markings on it, or windows, or just a beautiful white door?
Bright brass door handle.
Hmm.
Um, something around the door frame is that same light blue from that other door, but
Ah, okay.
door itself is white with that brass handle.
Okay, so walk into this awesome future. Feel
Okay.
it, see it, look around, just be there and tell me anything you see or feel or sense, anything you know.
It combines the last two. It's got the feel of that blue sky, sunny, that kind of feel, and the high vibration stuff. It's both combined together. And and there are a lot of people in it.
Okay,
I don't know what they're doing. It's like they're milling around or something.
but a lot of people, all right.
A lot of
How,
people there.
how does it feel to have all those people?
You know how if you're in a crowd, there's a particular energy to that crowd. You can kind of sense the energy of the crowd just because there's so many people around and you're
Yeah.
feeling all this stuff going on. That's what it feels like.
Is that a
Feels like
high energy? What is a good energy? What does it feel like?
yeah, it's not a bad energy. I mean, it's like they're all feeling pretty good, or most are feeling pretty good. So overall, it feels like a good energy. It's just strong. It's just a very strong energy.
And so maybe these are all these new listeners that are going to be you're going to be drawing to you in your
Okay,
awesome
well,
future.
I'm okay with that.
You saw all the people. You can't figure out what it is, but this is what I'm picking up on.
Okay.
Does that feel like it could be true?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Okay.
could be. That's possible.
All right.
I think it's
Okay.
actually more to it, though. I don't know
Oh,
what, but there's something. It isn't just my future with the big crowd that I wanted to have all the listeners and so forth. There's more to it than that. There's,
are you in person maybe with all these people? Why are they there? What are you doing with them?
I'm not sure, but there,
You don't even have to know for right now. I would invite you to look into that a little bit more later. But just generally, does it feel even more electric than that door a couple of the other doorway down?
it's the electric feels similar. They're very, very close. What I mean, when you asked what are they doing, I had trouble answering it because there's not a single thing going on. There are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of people interacting.
Okay.
And what they're doing, I can't really tell you, but there's just like a lot of different things going on. A lot of different. But it's almost like they're in little groups and their groups have little projects or tasks that they're doing or something like that.
Okay. So there's an abundance of something going on, of
Yeah, it's
lots of
about,
things going on.
yeah. There's a whole bunch of whatever it is going on. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So now bring yourself out from that door. Everybody else, take yourself out of that awesome door, but do not shake this energy off. Feel it.
Okay.
Whatever you were feeling in that space, whatever it was, I want you to own that energy. I'm assuming for everyone, it felt really awesome because it's the awesome future. So we want to hold on to that. So why don't we just go right into the meditation now, Walt? You don't need to. Okay, maybe what we'll do is we'll just give. Why don't we check the comments in case anybody wanted to make a comment about the doorways before we actually go into. Maybe somebody wants to describe their awesome future or if they saw the difference between the different futures.
Well, I can tell you that everybody has been diligently participating because the comments have been quiet.
Okay.
But We'll give people, it takes about 20 seconds for what we say to end up on the video. So we'll give them a few seconds to reply in case they want to type something in.
Okay, so let me just ask you then, could you feel a distinct difference between each of the doors then?
Yeah, there was, which surprised me. I mean, I'll tell you, when you first told me I was going to visualize these 5 doors, there's a part of me that kind of froze up because I knew what I have difficulty with visualizing, but I didn't worry too much about what I was actually seeing. It was like you said, what did I feel? What did it seem
What did
like
you
was there?
sense? Right.
Yeah. And so, like when I talked about the blue door, the middle door being a blue door, it was it was just sort of a sense of blue that came. It's not like I
Mhm.
saw a really clear door, but I caught a sense of blue. I said, okay, well, I'll go with blue. What was that like blue?
All right,
It
so let
was
me
like,
ask you this. Picture a blue door in your mind right now.
yeah, well,
You
I'm
see it?
I'm I'm seeing what I saw when I was visualizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
sometimes it's just this little trick of the mind where you think you're not seeing what you're feeling, but it's actually kind of all combined. Just like when I asked you to see a picture, see your cat in your mind. There. You don't necessarily like I just saw my cat, but it's not like I saw like a painting of her. I just know her.
Mm,
What she appears as was just there.
hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get in any kind of great detail, but I do get a quick image that there's a cat. There's a cat-like shape. That's what I
Right.
tend to get. Or with the
Like
door with like shape, sort of.
if I
Just it was
imagine my car right now, I can imagine I know that it's like a silvery gray.
hmm.
I could see it. It's not like I'm seeing a picture in my eyes, but there's a picture in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
it's just
said car. I thought of mine. Mine's like a tannish gold sedan, and so I
and
had this
don't you kind of see it right now?
kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all it is. That's all it is. No big
Okay.
deal. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
all it is. Okay.
I
So,
do have two comments that came through. Jeffrey basically said, "Yes, I did." Bronwyn said, "My awesome fifth door was gold with a dragon on it and rubies all around it."
wow.
That sounds nice.
That sounds exotic. Ooh.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so why don't we go into the meditation? Because it's already 4:35, and we want to
Okay.
give people a chance to say what their experience is.
Right.
And
Okay.
yeah, so you ready to do that?
Let's do it.
So, Walt, you're not going to look at the screen. You don't need to.
Yeah, I've turned off my screen to my eyes. My eyes are closed.
Okay. All right. So let's just have everybody closing their eyes, taking in a couple of nice deep breaths, right? So we'll just make nice, slow, deep, easy breath in and out. Another slow, deep, healing breath in. And just let out a little ah on the out breath and feel the vibration in your chest as you do. And one more deep breath in, holding it for 6 seconds. And then a nice just letting it all the way out and feeling yourself just settling into wherever you are, wherever you're sitting, whatever you're doing this meditation, allowing your body to relax, just releasing any tension as you allow your body to relax, beginning to feel this sense of peace, sensing the light as you're breathing gently and easily, letting your body come to this nice place of relaxation. You can even just imagine that there's this gentle light up at the top of your head. And it's just flowing down across your forehead and your mind, this beautiful energy, this light and this love, the universe coming in, cleansing and healing any thoughts, moving down past your eyes, into your jaw, floating down, just allowing yourself to drift gently and easily, peacefully, going deeper and deeper with each breath, relaxing, just relaxing even more, letting go, and knowing that bright future self is out there waiting for you. And your future self is excited about what you're going to be doing, what you're learning, and the hope and the happiness that's beginning to shine into you. That light that shines down now through your shoulders, your arms, into your back and your heart, just shining down into your abdomen. It's flowing down and out through your hands. It's flowing down into your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves, all the way to the bottom of your feet. Just sense this feeling of peace and this calm throughout your whole body as you feel and sense your breath along with this light that's just washing through you, clearing, cleansing, balancing you. And so as this relaxation flows in and washes away the tension, it's just bringing in more of a sense of peace, a sense of hope. And there's this gentle ease and calm that just comes into your body, into your being. And now I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. So that when you find yourself at 1, you'll find yourself in a beautiful meadow, looking out at the horizon, just beginning now at 5. Relaxing, drifting down easily. 4. Just practice that future self being out there. 3. Drifting down deeper. 2. Relaxing, letting go, drifting down, down, down. And 1. Just find yourself in that beautiful, peaceful place in nature. And you're looking out, and at this time you look out into the horizon. And as you look out into the horizon, you see the future, and you sense that doorway number 5. It's there. That awesome future doorway. It's beautiful. And you see this door in front of you and the light shining through. The light of your amazing future that you truly deserve. And this light that shines through to you, it warms you as it touches your skin. And it just flows into your heart. And it fills your eyes, it fills your mind as you see this beautiful door. Just knowing that it leads to an awesome future self. And this awesome future, among all the awesome futures, is the one that is just perfect for you. And that future self is excited, and you feel yourself being lifted by that light, being lifted by your enthusiasm, being lifted by that joy, and drawn into the light that lifts you and draws you forward. And as you're drawn forward, that doorway number 5, that awesome future, it opens up. And you feel yourself drawn right up to the threshold. And then drawn through the doorway into the light, and that brilliant, radiant love and light, it just fills you and it welcomes you. And you sense out there in front of you, you see your future self. So excited to see you. His or her arms are wide open, just welcoming you. And you're drawn forward into their embrace, into the embrace of your future self, which smiles and welcomes you and embraces you. And you feel their arms all around you. You feel their joy, the warm tears in their eyes. Their tears of joy welcoming you every time. And this embrace, it just fills your heart. You just breathe it. And it feels so good to be here again with your future self. And you look around, and they begin to show you their wonderful life, their successes, their joy, their love, their friends and family, their partner that loves them deeply, the love that they feel, the beautiful environment, their creativity, the business opportunities, the finances that they have, the love and the peace that is all around them, the excitement, the laughter, the contribution that they're making in people's lives and into the world. And as you get that feeling and that vibration of their success, it's easily, gracefully, and powerfully you feel it. And you're merging with your future self by their invitation. And you merge beautifully and blend gracefully, becoming that future self. You now are one. Breathing that feeling, this connection that you have with your future self, feeling what it feels like to live this joyful life, loving and giving and receiving gracefully from the universe, from people, from business, receiving money, receiving support, receiving love, opportunities, and gratitude. And then you look out beyond this future, and you look way out to the end of this life. And there's that wise old you smiling brightly and beckoning you into their arms. And once again, you're drawn forward into their embrace, and they welcome you, and they show you a whole life full of love, filled with completion and fulfillment. And they again show you their future, that love that goes on forever and forever, beyond this lifetime, the light, the source, God, Goddess, all that is. Their future shining in that infinite love, filling them up and filling you up. And then you ask that part of you, that wise old self, to go on a journey into the past and to take this love, to take this light to a younger part of you that really needed this light and this love. And he or she says yes. And they take your hand and they guide you back into the past. So just imagine back, 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 gracefully and easily as you picture a part of you, a very small child part of you, a part of you at a time when you needed help and you needed hope. So just allow whatever comes to mind, whatever you see, you don't have to see, just feel, just sense this younger part of you. Trust that whatever comes to you, that's the one that you need to work with in this moment. And in seeing that child, you understand and you care and you feel love for them. You understand their circumstances and their limiting beliefs and the scary future that they've been programmed to believe was their only option. You can feel and sense their feeling, and you just understand. And you see the future as being formulated out of their current experience, out of their limitations, out of their fear and the pain that they're dealing with. So in order to give them hope, a light to help them heal, you step into the scene with them. You and your wise old future self step into the scene, letting that child know that you're there from his or her future, that you are his or her future, and that you come because you love them. And you step in. And you ask if they would like a hug, and if they would like help to change their reality, to change their future, to brighten up their day, their life, for their future. And you embrace and you hold them, and you just feel the light and the love. And he or she feels your caring and compassion flowing from your heart into their heart. And then when you flow and fill them up and you feel you don't have enough to give them, your wise old future self comes and wraps hers or his arms around both of you. And your future self, sent by the light from forever, from God as source, that love that's infinite, that love flows through your future self into you and then flows into that child. It fills their heart and their mind, and they see you and they see their future self, powerful, joyful, happy, and their hope reawakens the light of what's possible for them, knowing that there are future journeys where we can allow them to express and release their emotion in order to change their beliefs. And at this time, just giving them light, just the experience of love, the experience of hope, and feeling that light spread from the three of you together. That light spreading so that they are starting to change their movie. They're changing the play that they're in. So to create a safer environment, a healthier environment with loving parents and friends and siblings that are there to support them. Literally now changing that movie right here, right now, creating a new present, creating a new future, to give them the light and to look forward to and change their circumstances from where they are now. And you fill them with love, and your future self flows love into you, and you fill up with this love now. And that little you looks at you and sees the empowered, successful future you. And they understand why they came into this lifetime. And it was to find that awesome, beautiful, empowered, loving future. And they look up at you and they thank you. And you just love them back, knowing that in future journeys you can come back, work with them more, help them, teach them, open them up to a beautiful future, to love themselves even more, to help them rewrite their movie and discover the joy, the peace, making sure that they are joyful and happy. And now what I'd like you to do is to ask that wise old future you to stay with that inner child so that they have a friend and they can stay there as long as they like, because time is an illusion. Your wise old self is excited to stay there with them for some time, maybe all day today, maybe until tonight. This wise old self is there to be with them, to love them. And as you see the two of them happy and joyful together, creating new movies for this little one who deserves so much more, who's so worthy, who's so valuable, so lovable, and deserves to receive all the abundant universe has to offer. Just knowing that you'll come back and you'll play whenever you wish. And you turn and you bring yourself back to the moment, looking out towards the future, seeing your successful self through that beautiful wide open doorway, number 5, that awesome doorway. You see yourself successful. You see yourself seeing your wise old self at the end of their lifetime, but also back in the past with your inner child. And the light, it just shines from forever. It shines through that wise old future self, shining into you, through to your successful future self a few years from now. And it shines back through you to that inner child. And it's just shining back in and out to the past, the present, the future. Just this beautiful connection and stream of light, the truth, the love. It's just so beautiful. And you take a nice deep breath, looking forward to the adventure, receiving more and more love, celebrating and enjoying the adventure of this life that goes on forever, the adventure of love. And you start bringing yourself back now into your body, into this time, present time and space, taking another deep breath in, filling yourself up with the light from the future, letting go, just relaxing, drawing in that light. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And at the count of 5, you'll return fully awake, fully aware, peaceful, empowered, hopeful. Beginning at 1, feeling that openness with all the light, all the love. 2, emerging from that oneness into experience. 3, the happiness, the joy, the fun, the magic, the excitement. 4 and 5. So just going ahead, gently opening your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in, stretch just a little bit, wiggle your fingers, your toes, just bringing yourself back, more present, more aware in the moment where you are right now. All right.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was quite a trip. I was honestly wondering, would I actually be able to visualize each step of the way? Would I be able to create any kind of imagery? And I actually did create some. It was still pretty vague, but it was there.
Okay.
And the one thing that I got more than anything else, well, there were two things that I got, and I was glad that we had previously done other stuff. My nose was itching like crazy, and you had previously admonished me, don't go after the nose, leave it alone. So I was fighting like, no, I'm not going to reach up there. I'm not going to rub my nose and make the itch go away. And eventually
It
subsided.
processed out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Uh,
just resistance.
Yeah, and then the other one was, and this was really big. It was growing throughout the meditation, as you were describing all those connections between past, present, and future self, and describing that pathway back and forth. I felt like an energy tube or a tunnel, uh, like a pipe between past, present, and future self, and it was increasing in energy,
Oh,
and it was increasing in it was glowing, it was becoming more vibrant, more energy flowing, that kind of thing, which was cool. I didn't expect that. I didn't think it was going to be that much of an
awesome.
energy. So that was good. That
And
was
I like what you said. You didn't expect that because when you have no expectation, it's easier to have experience.
mm,
Yeah.
hmm.
Um,
Let's see what some other people are saying. Jeffrey said, well, actually, this kind of goes back to the first part. He says the first door sludged, barbed wire filled with homeless people. The second door was an office door filled with cubicles. That was the mediocre one, right?
the second door, mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one, the good door, was a wood oak door filled with wine and vineyards and good food. The fourth door was a hut door with people dancing.
Ah,
Interesting. And the fifth was an archway to many outdoor adventures with someone I love deeply.
wow, very nice.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, goosebumps.
Yeah. And then beyond that, Elizabeth and Bronwyn are both saying it was awesome, it was great, so they're really enjoying it. If anyone else wants to share what they experienced, I'll be glad to share it on the podcast. But that was good. That was really good. I have, as I look back in my own mind and my memory to other meditations, both ones that you've led and others that I've experienced, much of the time I don't really get a lot of experience. I don't get a big thing that happened. But occasionally I have a good one. This is a good one. This one I just felt like a lot of stuff was going on. So
Cool.
thank you.
Did you have a sense of that younger child at any particular time in your life?
I can't say there was a particular time. It was, I mean, the closest I came to a particular time was once or twice I thought of like 15 or 16
Okay.
age.
Yeah.
And it also occurred to me that when I was that age, when I was in high school particularly, I was really, I was one of those people who had no idea what he wanted to do with his life and kind of lost in that sense.
Mm,
So the idea of feeding this love and this energy to me at that age, that was a pleasant feeling.
yeah.
And I can't honestly say that I know that I felt it back then. I don't have any kind of memory like that. But just the idea that maybe I was experiencing it some way, maybe that helped boost me in some way that I'm not aware of. But I like the fact that it was there. Let's put it that way.
Did I tell you the story about one of my clients, their experience with going back to actually an adult self
You
in a
might have. Tell us
in a
again.
snowstorm? Did I tell you that?
I don't remember the snowstorm.
Okay. Well, this woman, I did this with her, right? And
Hmm.
she instead of going back to like a 3, 4, 5 year old, 8 year old, a younger self, she went back to an adult her, and to a time when she was coming home. She works in New York City and took the bus back into New Jersey where she lived. But from the bus to her house, she would have to walk, and there was like a blizzard. And so she remembered feeling, she went to that time where she was feeling just like helpless,
Mm,
cold, scared, like all of this stuff. And she's like, she couldn't get home fast enough. She was like in this kind of a frenzy for this bit of a walk she had to do to get back to her house. And
right.
she recalled, so the future self goes to that person, right? But she recalled after she came out of the meditation, she goes, do you know that I could never figure out why, as I was walking home, halfway through it, I felt peace.
Hmm.
I had so much peace that the rest of the walk was nothing. Like it came out of nowhere. She goes, now I know it came from this.
So
This
she did
meditation right
remember.
now, that
Yeah.
future self that I just sent back there happened because I remember not knowing how this calm came over me, but that I was suddenly at peace. Imagine that, right?
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
very, yeah, that's it's reassuring too to know that we can actually have that kind of an impact. So she had a direct experience that
get a direct
reinforced
experience.
that.
And you know what? I had another person too that had a direct experience with that, but I can't remember it at this moment. If it comes to me, I'll write it down. I'll make sure I share it. I probably have it written in some notes somewhere, where
Mm,
someone else had that kind of experience, that whatever they were experiencing, they know that that the same thing what she just told me,
uh-huh.
that it happened. They didn't know it at the time what that was, but out of nowhere was this peace and this calm, and
Right.
that was where they went in their meditation.
Jeffrey had a couple of comments to share. He says, "Thank you. First thing I did was text my father. I thought that was an interesting thing to say.
Oh,
Apparently, there was something quite meaningful there that he wanted to tell his father about. And also, the future me reminded me the more we are motivated by love, the more fearless and free our actions will be." So
yeah,
you got a definite message. That's very good.
yeah. Fear and
Right.
love can't live together.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah,
That's a good thing to remember too, because we often are in situations where we are dealing with fear, and that's the time to remember that the two are not compatible. So the way
that's
out
yeah.
is to move toward the other one as quickly as we can, as expeditiously as we can.
That's when that ego mind comes in and probably, at least on my experiences, creates more chaos for me than
Yeah.
if I just let myself go into the space of love and connection to my soul self. I did a video on that last week, ego and soul, who's in control. It's on my YouTube channel. I'm going to do some follow-ups to that, but yeah. And in fact, I'm going to be posting an energy update for February, and it kind of talks to a lot of that kind of thing too. It's very much, I guess, in the energy field right now, this
Hmm.
thing of like, releasing the fear and moving into love, letting go of that ego control and letting the soul lead the way.
Well, it's a great tool to have because whenever we're in that negative place, just knowing that we have previously learned or at least accomplished moving into that love zone when we're feeling fearful, that's powerful. That's empowering. It's like it's a memory that we can kind of go back to reproduce it again.
Right,
So
right. If
that's
I could do
good.
it once, I could do it again. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, that's
yeah,
very good. So, I think we're kind of drawing to a close. Jeffrey says, "Thank you. Yes, I hope many people have similar experiences." That's one of the cool things about these meditations, isn't it? Because anybody can experience it any time that they're
yeah,
listening to them.
yeah. And the other thing too is, I guess they're on a page, or maybe the page with just the you and I, that would have like the recent shows in order.
Yes, well, the website has, besides the live feed that everybody
Because
connects
there's so many shows in a week.
right, but there's also on the website itself there are categories, and there's a meditation category, so somebody can actually go there and listen to all the meditations, both the ones you've done. Cindy's led us in a couple. There have been others as well, so you can tap
Okay,
into any meditations by going to the
okay.
category meditations
And
on
did
the
you do you still have a page separated out for each of the different shows?
for each of the. I have it separated out by co-host. So, for instance, all the shows that you participate in, there's a list of all the shows that you
Okay.
participate in, and
So
same
then
thing.
they would be in order. You would find those last
Yes,
two in order.
that's
Right.
right. They're in date
Yeah.
order. Yeah.
That's an easy way to do it. Because if anybody wants to, I can take you through the third one. There's actually 5 meditations in this series. And in the third one, you go and do some healing for that inner child.
That sounds like a natural progression.
Why don't we just keep doing it then?
Sure, yeah. Hey, if there's 5 of them, why not? Let's do all 5. I think
Right.
that's great.
Okay.
All right.
So that'll
Then we
be fun. You get to really work with that younger version of you. Whatever time you go back to, it might not be the same time that you saw today, but the right time will come up at that time, and then you'll do some healing work. It's a fun one.
All right. Before we go, how does somebody reach out to you as a life coach, and not just for meditation purposes, but just for any kind of energy healing purposes?
Yeah, just go to my website, lovemylife.coach. Anything you need to know, and you can contact me on every page has links.
All right. Somebody who knows the value of links. Thanks, Linda. Appreciate you leading us through all this stuff. And hey, I'm looking forward to doing the meditation next week. I mean, it's one more
All
thing to look
right.
at. That's great.
Awesome. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much. Thanks to our listeners. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.